I can't even, it's like I'm a different person. I don't even know what happened. I feel like my body loves me. My body is so happy right
I
now.
love that. So the reason we're recording this today is because we just had a conversation last week about your experience doing the 12-week personalized program, Nourish program with me. You'd finished back around the end of August, more or less. I just had some questions I wanted to ask because you told me a bunch of things the other day that I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And there's so many women like you. And there's something different about them hearing you tell the story than me just repeating the story. Like this client I had, this woman, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like this story needs to be told to other women who have the same fears that you had, who have a very similar background with a lot of dieting culture. Like that is this generation. So before we started working together, how would you describe your relationship with food and dieting?
I've been a serial dieter probably my whole life. I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, I found another version of dieting. I called it a cleanse because it was more like a cleanse, really. And it really helped me and it was amazing. My problem was is that I'd lose 20, 30 pounds. And then over time, years, but over time, the weight just came back on. So then I said, I'll do it with you because I wanted to do something that was going to change my relationship with food, right? That's what I was looking for. I don't know that I articulated it like that back then.
I can tell you, I mean, I was actually digging up what you had said because it was something that we had summarized at the end of the 12 weeks together on that journey. So you've lost weight in the past, but gained it back. You don't want to keep starting over. That was one of the things you said. Another was that I feel overweight, not comfortable in my own skin, and embarrassed to be seen in a bathing suit. I love food and travel a lot, and I'm afraid I won't be consistent. And you said most days I skip meals, grab fast food or snack. By dinner, I'm starving and eat whatever. I feel ashamed of what I'm eating lately. I know I need strength training, but I don't feel motivated and I don't enjoy doing it on my own. And then the last thing was, I want a routine or structure that's flexible, helps me lose weight and inches, and lets me feel healthier without being deprived. So those were exact words from your intake. I would really love to hear like your words, especially at the beginning. You told me you were scared to eat more.
Yeah.
It scared you. So what did that feel like? Why did you think that was so strong?
Well, it was interesting because in the past, when I gone on a cleanse or something, I was eating half, not to talk numbers, but I was eating half about what you gave me. So when you told me what I could have, calories, fat, macros, all that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to eat everything, right? So I have struggled with it. And I think I'm so emotional because in all this, all the habits that you help me build, meal planning. Yeah, find 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't eat like that. I don't interchange meals. And you taught me this is that it's being aware of what I'm putting in my mouth. So if I know that I'm going out to dinner and I don't like to feel restricted, I will like shrimp for lunch. Or, something with high protein and not a lot of fat because I want to be able to eat dinner, whatever I want, dessert. I want after dinner drinks. I want an espresso martini. Like I want it all.
Yeah.
And then I log it all because it gives me this level of consciousness of, oh, look, you know what? And the funny thing is I log it most of the time and I go, I didn't even blow out my macro. And before I'd be sitting there feeling deprived, I can't eat that because it's going to make me fat. Can't eat that because it's going to make me fat. When you said to me that day, are you afraid to eat? That was my story. I can't eat that. It's going to make me fat. And when I realized that in our next call, I said to you, oh my gosh, I think I am afraid to eat. And I didn't even realize that. I follow instruction really well. And I fill my house with food with 0 fat and during the losing phase, and then life creeps in. And you kept saying to me, it needs to be sustainable. It needs to be sustainable. It needs to be sustainable. And then you were really so, I'll say intuitive, others will say insightful, to really tap in, recognizing that there was more happening in me, inside of me. And that when you said to me that day, are you afraid to eat? I just get goosebumps all over my body right now because that was a game Sure. And I remember saying to you, no, I'm not afraid to eat. I eat everything I want right now, kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
sat with that throughout the week. I realized I'm afraid to eat. I'm so structured, that having that app and your feedback is I still to this day use the app, but having that feedback from you and I'm so overwhelmed right now because the one thing you told me, not to get off track, but I am a little scattered. I'm feeling a
That's
little.
okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just say how did you feel like you were able to start trusting the eating of more food? So that's a curiosity of mine.
Well, it was you actually.
Okay.
It was you when we came back, when we circled back, and I said to you, I think I am afraid to eat because I feel like whatever I'm going to stick in my mouth is going to make me fat. So right now I'm eating lean and I eat no fat, and I
And I
count.
never said no fat, just to be clear. I
Yeah,
never said that.
I,
That's not the way.
no,
Okay.
you were teaching me,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
from what I used to do to
Yes,
what
I know.
me, there was such a delta in
Yes.
that I felt a level of freedom. The problem is that was not sustainable because I still hadn't gotten to a place where I could eat normally. I was still fasting, I wasn't
Mhm.
eating. I was can't eat that, can't eat that. Oh, I can't eat that. Now I look and I go like, oh my, I was traveling yesterday with my daughter and we're in the
Yeah.
air and she says, "You want some Cheez-Its?" And it was 10 o'clock at night. Ooh, maybe. So I took like four and then I said to her, "Can I see that bag?" Right? Because I wanted to eat the whole and
Yeah.
24 crackers, I remember 8 fat, 3 protein. Protein? Holy moly,
I
so
got my protein.
I grabbed 4 crackers and I was done, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't about like before I would have been like, no, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. I don't want to feel deprived. I wanted some, I ate them,
Yeah.
made me happy, and I'm okay. I lived through another day. And they didn't make me fat. But
Exactly.
as
And
far
that's the thing. Like, this is what it's about, right? Is figuring out how to balance those things. And like, yeah, you're going to have moments where you're probably going to eat a little more than normal and enjoy it. Enjoy it, right? There's no guilt needed from that. And you come right back to doing what you were doing before that. And I think that's what made you so successful. Like, you worked through so many different things. You had a lot of travels in that 12 weeks. There was a
yeah,
lot and a lot of ways in which you could have pulled out some kind of, I'm going to call it an excuse, because we have choices, right? And you figured out how to make choices. I think you even figured out how to eat food from a gas station. I believe I heard that. I believe I recall that. You figured it out because you knew, like, here's what I'm trying to figure out and here's what I'm going to do to make it happen. And you figured it out because you clearly wanted to do it.
yeah. It was nice having you to guide me through that. When you went over my stats with me and you said,
Right.
I am so glad that you reached out to me because you didn't say it, but I could see in your face that you were so concerned about my physical well being because you know what all those numbers mean.
And I wasn't referring to how much you weighed when I
No,
had the concern, to be clear. I was looking at the body fat percentage and just the level that it was at and how that affects your health. And that was worrisome. So that was my first feeling, was we got to get this down so she's in a healthier zone.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
you used the word visceral fat, and I've heard that in passing. I didn't even know, but to feel like you're the concern, like I could see it and I could feel it from you. I like
Mhm.
that. Like what is visceral fat? Like, oh man, she's seeing something in those numbers that I'm not really aware of.
And I just kept thinking about the amount of women who struggle all the time with food because of all the things they've been taught for so many years. It's ingrained so deeply within that often when I work with women, I find that they don't feel like they want to trust me, especially when like they come and they pay to work with me, but then when they see what it looks like, then it's like, wait a second, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting much less food. I should feel deprived. I should feel like I'm suffering. And this amount of food is too much. And I've heard that so many times. And often women will take upon themselves to not eat as much as what I'm directing. And just to be clear, I don't give people one big jump, especially if they're coming from over here. We try to build it up over time, as you know. And so I'm careful, because if you're way down here and we need you up here, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to do that in one day. It doesn't make any sense. And I think for you, what I saw was you were kind of adding, like doing a little bit of the adding, but there was I could see, like, I think it was the carbs. I think it was the carbs specifically that were always like much lower than where we were trying to go. And I was like, okay, so she's like really working on this protein habit and building on that. The fiber habit also, you were working on that. And that seemed like not as scary, but when it came to like the rest of the carbs, that's where I was noticing this. There wasn't a progression happening the way that I would want to see. And that's when I was like going, it's interesting, because she's checking in, she's doing all the things. It looks like really consistent, but there's this thing that's being held back. And that's when, well, intuitively, I think I was feeling like she's scared to eat. She's scared, and carbs.
Yeah, no, you were spot on. You were spot on. And, you know, the other day when I was talking to you on the phone, I just wanted you to know that you really did change my life. I mean, really, you showed up for me at the level that I was at, and you would, you know, it's not pushing me. It was just introducing me to new ideas. So many, you're right. I talked to so many people, and people that see me now that haven't seen me in a while, they're like, oh my gosh, like I lost a little baby. Little 2-year-old. And some of them share with me like what they're doing, and they're losing weight, and it's amazing what they're doing. And I ask them, are you afraid to eat? And they're like, yeah. And I mean, like when I say that, sometimes I met with like a deer in headlights, because I don't think we really think about it. Right? We're just trying to not eat too much because we don't want to get fat.
Right.
And that creates a fear in and around food that I was not conscious of. I just was completely unconscious of that. And just being aware of that one question, that was it. That was the tipping point. That was it. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid of food. So now what? Right? Like there's this moment of, holy criminy, what does that mean? Right? And then again, with you talking me through that, and, you know, just through the road trips and the vacations and the, you know, traveling, it just worked. It worked. And it wasn't a quick fix. And you told me that from the beginning. And what I love the most, this is something that I wanted to actually bring up, is that when I'm with Bill, it irritates me and makes me happy all in one. I got to be honest. And he says to me, like, you're not on a diet. I'm like, what do you mean? Get my ice cream at 10 o'clock at night, right? I'm weighing out kettle corn in a bowl. But, you know, on the other side of that, I love that he doesn't feel that restriction from me. Like, tells me, like, the other side of that is we go out and eat. I can go, you know, we can go out to dinner with friends. I can eat lunch. I have cocktails. I live a whole life, right? Not like a little piece of it. And he feels that. And I love that, because I don't want to feel restricted. And that shows, even though it irritates me.
Okay, so what would you say to a woman who's scared to eat and feels stuck?
You need Fatima. Yeah, I mean, what I would say is it's really hard to do by yourself. It's nice having somebody on the outside looking in that's not judging you, right? That's like there to kind of hold your hand and walk you through it. And it's hard. It was hard for me because, you know, so many people around you or me were losing weight, and they were losing it fast. And that was the part that was really hard for me. Even my partner, to be honest with you, at one point, he's like, come on, we can do this. We'll just do a little jump start. And when he said that, I thought to myself, you know how many times I've done a jump start? Like, okay, I can. And I said to him, I can jump start and I can lose 20 pounds in 2 months, right? The problem when I stop and I go back to life, that 20 becomes 15 really fast. And then it just creeps back up. And that's not what I wanted. It's just not what I wanted. I wanted something long lasting. So if you want a lifestyle change, right? If you want like to change your relationship with food, if you want to enjoy your meals, like enjoy them. I've struggled with my weight my whole life, my entire life. And I was just saying to somebody the other day, I look at my pictures when I was little and I said to my mom, I wasn't big. I mean, the kids at school used to call me Battleship, right?
Wow.
And my friend Battleship or something like that, right? And I look at her and I say, oh my gosh, I was just like a normal skinny little kid, actually.
Yeah.
All the girls in my class were very petite, and we didn't have that word back then, right? So I was just the big girl in the class. So I was eating. For me, I felt like every week when we would check in that I was eating a lot of food. I've never eaten like that before. Making better choices, habits. That was something that you taught me, actually. And honestly, it changed my life. You're not eating enough. You're not eating enough. And I was sitting back saying to myself, listen, lady, I'm eating plenty and I'm losing weight. Right. And that's where I'm at. But in that process of weighing, I can almost guesstimate. When I was on my cruise, I bet it was almost spot on. Like sometimes I can look at meat and just pick it up raw and stick it on there, and that's 6 ounces. Right?
So you've learned how to first, like we did do measuring with macros. Yeah. And so what you're saying is over time, you now can eyeball, like, what your portions need to look like, and you're more or less like guesstimating a lot of the time now. Great.
My life.
That's great.
I don't want to say like most people. I don't know how most people live their lives, to be honest with you. I just know that my lifestyle is something that's difficult for me to work around because I'm not at home very often. Right. And when I'm at home, I'm there for a short period of time. And then I go somewhere else. I'm there for a short period of time. So the food that was in my refrigerator at home that was healthier, right, or that I like grabbing to go is not when I go over here. So what do I do? Like, what does that look like? What are my go-to? You used to say all the time, have your go-tos. And I didn't really understand. I mean, I understood it, but that I live it. I get it. Like, get it. I have certain go-tos. I know that I'm going to be, if I want to have, I try to eat my breakfast and lunch, honestly, on a less fat, less carbs, because at dinner I go hard. I'm not equal person. Right? You talked about that. You're like, have meals. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner so that you can have breakfast for dinner. Yeah.
Can easily mix and match all the items, and you still need to make it work for your life. That's what has happened, is that you've said, you know what, those 3 equal meals don't work for the way I live my life. And so how it's going to work is that these other 2 meals are going to look a little different, and I'm going to end up with a heavier loaded dinner because I know that I'm going to go out and eat or whatever it is that's happening, where you just know you're going to have a heavier meal for dinner. And it makes sense because at the end of the day, you're getting in the same amount throughout the day. You're still sticking within your numbers, and obviously you're getting the results from doing that. It's working. And that's the point, is making it work for you. There is no one set. Yes, there's a system. Sure, there are guidelines. And then we need to really like customize them to fit all the traveling. Sometimes you're home, sometimes you're on the road, sometimes you're in another location. There's different things available in each location, and it depends, right? And you have a different lifestyle depending which location you're in also.
And I went to New York. I went to Mexico. I mean, for weeks,
you were on a cruise even at one point.
What's that?
You were on a cruise.
I was on a cruise.
Like one of the most brutal places to be.
Cruise, I think I gained like 3 pounds or something. I was so stoked out of my mind because really on the cruise, I had like a chocolate. They had this amazing chocolate soup every single night. And I would say to myself, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. But yeah, so I remember actually when we had that conversation, I was by myself in Florida, and Bill coming that week. And I remember saying to myself, I don't know if I said it to you, but I said to myself, I'm just going to eat the way you taught me, but whatever I want, and see what happens. Right? Because it's easy to be more disciplined when I'm by myself.
Right.
with Bill and we're going out to eat or we're, let's go have a drink. So I ate that week, not like crazy, but, we went out and ate. I was mindful. I was protein forward, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't gain any weight. Then I feel like that was the biggest blessing because I was like, the universe was honestly, I feel like telling me like, hey, look, you can eat like that and you can still be healthy. It's nice to be on that journey with somebody that cares as much as you do.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate so much all the work you put in and how open you were to having the conversations that needed to be had, and especially the really hard one about putting more food on your plate. I know it's difficult, and I've seen many women struggle with that piece a lot. And I've been, trying to figure out how do you get them around that corner, right? Thankfully, you were able to come around that corner and work through that. And I'm working on some other things right now, a little more deeper dive into some of the stuff that we carry around like very deeply as children, as you were saying, like through your life. And those things can really hold people back as well. And so anyways, to be announced later, but for you, we're good. We don't need to go there. But I'm always trying to see like what is the situation with this person and how can we get them from here to here? Like how do we go there, right? And it's all about trying to understand what you're going through and what you need and then making that path whatever it looks like. And it's different for each person. It really just depends. But the one thing that stood out to me so much with what you told me was, well, what I discovered with you is that you were scared to eat. It's not a one-of situation. It's a huge issue with women in like the 40s, 50s, probably even late 30s, that have been brought up and raised around this conditioning, right? Of, not eating very much. And they're scared to eat food. They're scared.
Yeah. I told you there's a book there. There is a book. Are you afraid to eat? I'm it is. I mean, it's interesting because I see it like I can, when I'm talking to people, women, and they're telling me, and they're doing great, they're losing weight, and they're talking to me about how they're eating. And it's so apparent, like it just is like, I can feel their fear because I know, because I've been there. I've been in that place.
Yeah.
Consciously, right? But now I'm listening I'm like, that's what I used to say. That's what I want to say. Oh my God, I used to say that all the time. So then I look, are you afraid to eat? And they look at me and they're like I just caught them doing something wrong, or kind of like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, I am. I can't have this. I can't have this. I have to have organic that. I try to buy organic as often as I can because I know it's body, right?
And I think another piece is it gets overcomplicated.
Yeah.
Things get overcomplicated. That's the other thing is there's so many rules. There's so many do this, don't do that, do this. And it's also super confusing. And I think like we need to come back down to the foundation first, which is what we were working on.
That's what I feel like.
It's like build the foundation that you can actually do so that you can actually continue to follow through and continue doing it. And yes, your results are going to be slower. Yes, they are. That's the reality. But do you want to go slow and keep it off and feel good? Or do you want to go fast? As you were saying previously, like go fast, hard, get a faster result, but it doesn't stay. And then you continue back in this cycle over and over. I mean, my God, exhausting.
Yeah, story of my life.
Not anymore.
Pretty fast.
What would you say has happened like with your body confidence since going through this process? Because you did mention something very specific to me, but you can share what you want to share.
I take my shirt off. Yeah, no, if I could walk around all day naked, I'd probably do it right now.
Okay, like you did say something about that. So I'm glad you brought that up. That says a lot. That says a lot.
No, I am like, when we were reading that email about how I felt, it brought tears to my eyes because I remember that feeling. I remember that because I felt that way for 50 years now on and off, right? But no, I love that I can open my closet. I can wear anything that I want. Interestingly enough, I still wear the jeans that I used to wear, but they're a lot bigger on me. And I just reveling in that. Like, aren't those big. I said, I know. It's like I'm a different person. I don't even know what happened. I feel like my body loves me. My body is so happy right
I
now.
love that.
Thanksgiving week and I lost weight. My body's like, thank you for that. And thank you for the pie. I appreciate that. It's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
It,
that.
yeah. All I can say is life changing. Life changing.
Your
Yeah.
whole like vibe is totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, you've always had good energy, but I feel like there's a whole different vibe about you now, which was like even more when I spoke to you the other day, I was like, whoa. Would you record a call with me? Because this is like, I mean, you made my day, my month, my year. I don't know, my 10 years. I don't know. I mean, it was such a beautiful call to hear, after you finished the program and it's been like, I don't know, a few months since then. And you're still doing your thing and feeling really amazing and just had so many positive things to say that, I mean, I almost cried listening to you in that moment. It was so exciting to hear, and it felt so good to be able to be part of this journey with you to help redirect you onto a path that actually works better in the long run. And so it just made me like beyond proud to be part of this with you. And
yeah. And honestly, what's really telling is it's sustainable. It's sustainable. I mean, that was August. We're in December,
yeah,
right? I have lost like another 11, 12 pounds.
amazing.
I, I only weigh myself once a week. When I do it on a basis, I get over like
Yeah. Bad idea. Yeah. Good call.
I gained 0.03 ounces today. And I also feel like I'm giving myself more grace. Like before I would weigh it and it would have to be
Yeah.
stacked. And now I look at it and I've gotten, I still weigh. If I'm at home, I weigh. It feels good actually that it wasn't a quick fix. Like I feel like solid in what's happening right now because it has taken me time. And like when I was at the gym today, the trainer I was working with said, "Have you met your goals yet? Did I meet my goal?" I looked at that kid and I said, "Actually, I've lost almost 30 pounds." And he looked at me and he goes, "What?" Because he met me like 10 pounds ago. No, this is just my lifestyle. I'm not coming here to train because I'm trying to hit a goal.
Right.
I'm coming to train because my body needs to build muscle, right?
I was so excited when we connected last week and you were sharing all those things. I was like, I want to repeat this conversation because it's so incredible. And I just feel like what you have to say is going to really resonate with a lot of women, so many, and they need to hear this. They need to hear this and they need to see that it can be done in this way. It can feel good. And
it can feel good. I'm telling you, it's not a lie. I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you were saying earlier, like, oh yeah, I give them more calories and they're looking at me like I've been there and yeah. I would be like, yeah, I'm going to lose a lot of weight now because I'm never going to eat that many calories. Now I'm looking at my thing like, oh, can I get a little more?
And I think there's also this feeling of what I've seen is when women do start to add on and start noticing how they feel different, like the energy. And it's like, wait a second. Okay, I haven't gained any weight and I actually feel pretty good. This feels good. Okay. And so I feel like there's like a little bit of like, first you need to trust a bit and like, we'll go slow and figure out where that tipping point is, for each person. Cause it is different depending on a lot of things. But anyway, it's really incredible.
Nourished,
I love that.
it does.
That's the point.
What thing is, it's not even that long of a journey. We're just so used to getting results fast and having it so quickly. In 6 months, I feel better. I fit in my clothes. I get to eat anything that I want, and that whole thing about anything you want just in moderation is real, right? It really is real. If I want whatever it is.
You figured out how to make it work so that you can enjoy and live flexibly, which is the point. How do you feel about that now? Because now, I mean, and then I can say like 12 weeks later, you lost almost 18 pounds, dropped, it was almost 6% body fat, lost 4.5 inches from your waist, which is a lot. And 3.5 inches from your hips. That's a lot. You're eating more food. I think we might have at least doubled your food intake, if not tripled what you were eating. And I'm not going to talk about numbers, but just to give an idea. You learned how to enjoy normal meals, travel, and even vacation without guilt or derailment, which is like incredible because you travel a lot. You built structure and consistency with your meal plans and your training routine. You figured out what was going to work for you in the long run. And initially, the online training was not the right fit for you. And you found something that you could go to physically and be there. And that worked really well for you when it came to the movement aspect of things. And that's part of what the process is about. It's not saying like, here, Sabrina, go and do these things and just make it work. Like I think we're looking at what's happening in your life every single week. And then how do we build a structure around this to help you keep going? Like that was really the goal the whole way through. So that was kind of like what I have in a nutshell, but I would really love to hear like your words.
And I'm still losing. And I'm still losing inches. I'm still losing weight. I go to the gym twice a week. I can't even, it's like I'm a different person. I don't even know what happened.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to say, or I think we covered it, unless there's anything you wanted to add.
I just can't tell you how grateful I am for you helping me down the path. I mean, I could say it over and over again. You changed my life. You changed my life on a level that I never thought possible, honestly. I love
Now you're gonna make me cry.
love food. I mean, like,
You're gonna make me cry.
that was half my battle.
Yeah.
It really was, is that I love food and I felt deprived every single time I would do something. I am a foodie. Like, I have a girlfriend and she says to me all the time, you're such a foodie. Like, I'm like, oh, I was eating something last night. And my daughter and I were like, oh, when it hits your mouth, it just like, like, oh, like, we love it. I love it. I love it. I love to enjoy it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to enjoy it like that and know that I'm nourishing my body versus enjoying it and feeling guilty the next day because I ate too much and now I'm going to get fat. It's like this level of freedom that is in my life now. Like, to many years ahead.
Yay. So proud of you. That's so amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.